Good morning, guys. How are you all doing? It's your favorite Mr. Sub. I hope you all are doing very well. So this morning, not this morning, just now at my back here, I'm coming from the barber shop. So I went to cut my hair. Okay, I have a haircut. So, some of you that have been following me, you see me oftentimes when I go make my hair, as a get a haircut, I oftentimes make a video, And actually, this barber is not, is not really familiar with cutting African hair, because our hair texture is different from their own hair texture. So oftentimes he struggles a lot to be able to cut my hair. So starting from when I met him, I've been tutoring him on how to cut my hair because ordinarily I cut my hair by myself. Ordinarily, today is really sunny. It's hot, really, really hot. Okay. So ordinarily I cut my hair by myself. I've done that for so long. So, but now I had to, sometimes you just want to, reduce that stress. You just look for, someone to do it for you. All right. So, and if you can do it, it's not expensive. So, and why was I doing by myself before? Because where I was staying by then, we have less foreigners. Okay. So I had to go to the university to cut my hair, where we have Africans. Okay, and I had a barber, which I had to go and look for. And so sometimes you may want to cut your hair. Now going to the university to go and look for a barber may not be really convenient. So I learned how to cut my hair by myself, and I was doing pretty well. But I have to put a mirror at the front and at the back, and sometimes not really easy, to be frank. Okay, so I just finished cutting my hair now, and like I said, every time I go to the barber, I had to try to explain to him on how to cut my hair. It's not really easy because, like I said, he's not used to our hair texture. Our hair texture looks a little bit, hard, coily, unlike theirs that looks, theirs is just one. The Chinese guys, theirs is just one. Very different kind of hair texture, and the cutting method is completely different. So, and he's not used to it. So each time I go, I have to explain to him. Even I've been out, for some while. I've been on a business trip, or I traveled for work purpose. Let me not use the word business trip. I don't know how people get confused with that word business trip. Let me just digress a little bit. I went to a different city for work purpose, and I spent some months there. Now, when I went there, I went to a church where I was worshiping then, and I said, they asked me to introduce myself, and I said, I'm so and so. I'm here on a business trip. And when I said that, the next thing they were asking me, sir, how is business? That's after church, or after the service. They were asking me, how is business? I said, which business? They said, oh, but you said you are here on a business trip. I said, no. The term business trip also means it could be something official. Not just maybe I'm here to trade or buy and sell. No. It could be something official. So I'm here on a business trip. So my company sent me here. It's business trip, that we'll call it. I don't know. It's business trip. That's the normal word. So everybody was confused because oftentimes when you see Africans come to China that are non-students, they are here on business. So when they say business trip, they thought I was here on business. Anyway, that was just to digress. So now I had to explain to this guy that, look, cut this way, again and again, because I've been here, I traveled, like I said, for almost some months, like 3 months or thereabouts, and for what purpose? And after coming back, he has lost all the tutorial I gave to him on how to cut my hair. He lost everything completely. So I had to come again and explain to him again and again on how to cut my hair. So, but where am I going to? Something just struck my memory now. Is that it's not really easy for people to unlearn what they have learned. This guy already know how to cut. Sorry, it's really hot, and I'm let me see. Okay, I should go this direction so you can really see my face. So I'm not really working. I'm not really facing the sun while walking, so you can see some black shadows or whatever. So sometimes it's not easy to unlearn what we have learned. This guy actually learned how to cut the Chinese style. So each time I go there, I had to explain to him on how to cut again. And okay, so okay, yeah, I know. Wajidawla means I know. Oh, wajidawla. I know. Okay, I remember. Sometimes it's not easy to unlearn what you have learned. Not easy at all. And sometimes the things that you have learned, or the things that you are used to, frame up your life. The things that you see every day, the things that you speak every day, the things that you touch every day, they frame or they design your life. And sometimes it's not easy to unlearn, because sometimes for you to be able to learn new things, you have to try to let some old things that you have learned go off. If you don't, the new thing is going to, the old things are going to affect the new things, and they may not allow the new things to stay. Sorry, I'm entering my estate, okay? So, may not allow the new things to stay. And also, even this is also what's it called? It's also biblical, Let me scan my face. Here, we have to scan our face too, okay? The gate has opened. That's my gate here. You have to scan your face. So let me look for somewhere to sit down and complete this video before I go upstairs. So, this is my estate. Let me just show you guys a little bit of my estate. See that monument? It looks nice. It looks beautiful. So these guys are very good when it comes to building. Sorry, I'm making video with my phone, okay? It's just unplanned video. All right, so you have to unlearn what you have learned, okay? To be able to keep the new things, even it's biblical. Let's see if we can go and make this video for the first time up there. I haven't been there before. Wow, can you see this water fountain? So let's go up there and see if we can stay there and make a video up there. Here. It's my first time I've been there before. I haven't been there since I've been here. We'll have time for that. Go to work, come back, go to work, come back. So let's go and see. Let's see what it looks like. Let's go there. I'm really hot. So, like I said, it's even biblical, okay? Biblical in the sense that the Bible is talking about that we can't put a new wine in an old wine skin, okay? Wow, here it looks good. My first time I've been here. It looks good. So I'm up here. Just where we saw just now, up there. All right. So, but nothing here, it's just empty, just a design. So, all right, the Bible was talking about that even we can't put a new wine in an old wine skin, as the new wine, there will be issue with the wine, They will have issue having a new wine in an old wine skin. That is in Mark 2:22, okay. So, this guy have difficulty oftentimes to understand, because why? He's putting the things that he has learned. I'm going down, please. He has learned before. He's putting them. He's not trying to, he's finding it difficult to accept these new things that I'm saying and, accommodate the, he's finding it difficult to accommodate the new things into the old things that he already knew. Okay, and this is also, I've also been a victim of this before. Let me tell you a story. Sometimes, when I came to China newly, as a student, I was teaching. Sometimes I would teach English. I made a lot of Chinese friends. That's one thing about, if you are in any country that is not your home country, please make friends. Make friends. It's just recently that I'm not having so much friends because of work. Because these friends, you have to keep them. You have to, go out with them. Like, we go to the park. You know what I'm saying? And then I was single, unmarried then, not married. Unlike now that I'm married, have families, I have a lot of responsibility, I have what to do. Then they say, come here, we go everywhere. Come here, we travel to, just like that. That was how it was when I was a student then. So anyway, I had a teacher that employed me to teach English. And as I was teaching English, there's something that affected me, which is also something had to do with this, you have to unlearn what you have learned to be able to learn the new things. So she is a woman. In fact, the woman is a lecturer in my school, a lecturer friend, or let me say my lecturer, linked me to her, also another lecturer, but she have an English training class. So she invited me to come there. Let's stay here and finish this video. the table tennis court in my estate. All right, table tennis board, sorry, not court. So, while I was in the school teaching, something happened. Sometimes there's something that you could take for granted, but it could go a long way to mess you up. So, now, what happened? Let me explain to you what happened. It's just because of some things that I've learned initially, when I was way younger. I remember when I was a little child, we do go to church. I mean, Sunday school, not just church. I mean, Sunday school. We have Sunday school class in the morning. Then we now have, after Sunday school, we will now be in the main church. But that is when we are grown up. But when we are kids, we stay in that place from morning till the service closes. So that's our own children class. We have Sunday school there. And after then, we now stay there for children class, okay? For children class. So then, we do sing one song, from east to west, no other God. From north to south, I say there is no other God. Let me explain now. It's a song, you guys know. From east to west, no other God. From north to south, I say there is no other God. From east to west, no other God. From north to south. I'm giving you the cardinals. East, now you say east to west, north to south, okay? But ordinarily, it shouldn't be so. It should be west to east, north to south, not east to west. If you take that knowledge of the song and apply it to real geography, you are doing a very big mistake. It's north to south, yes, but it is west to east, not east to west. The other way around. So now back to the English class. So now I was teaching them English then, and we were discussing about some kind of geographical location. So a talk came up, and we're talking about some kind of geographical location, just general discussion. So I now had to draw what's it called? I draw a cardinal point, on the English board, and I wrote north, south. I wrote east, west. I didn't even know what took my thought over. So it's just that what I have known from ages when I was a child, even when I have learnt geography, that I know is west to east. But sometimes in my own in my subconsciousness, I may still make that mistake and write west to east, because that was my foundation. My foundation was west to east in that song. We're just kids, 3-4 years, in Sunday school, 3-4 years or so. That was how we sang that song every day, from east to west, no other God. From north to south, I said there is no other God. So that was our song, and that was how we grew up. All right. So now I wrote that north, south, east, west. Don't forget where we're going. Don't forget our goal. We're talking about you have to try to unlearn what you have learned in able to accommodate new things. Yeah. So I wrote that. That was one of my most embarrassing moments in my life. I wrote north, south, east, west, and the whole parents now look at the board like this. Huh? I was then in university teaching. University as an MSc student, MSc. So they felt as an MSc student you should know better. Why put east, west, north, south? North south is okay, but the east to west is a problem. You know what I'm saying? I hope you agree what I'm saying. Like, for example, I'm talking about like the cross now. The cross sign. This is the cross sign. So up is north south. Here it should be west east, but I wrote east west based on what I knew from childhood, and that's though I know is west east, but in my subconsciousness I was a little bit I was taken over by my background knowledge, and I just wrote east to west. I didn't even look at what I wrote. I didn't even look at it that I wrote east to west. So there are what we call in biology, I want to recall, it's called reflex action and non-reflex action. Okay, I've left school for so many years, but I can still remember my biology very well. Reflex actions and non-reflex actions are things that, some actions that you take without thinking, like blinking your eyes. They are, I think they are called non-reflex action, non-reflex, reflex. I think they're called reflex action, reflex. I think the one of reflex is the one that you. I don't want to call this video and verify, check my. No, I don't. I'm just speaking off of my, offhand. But I know of reflex and non-reflex action, reflection, reflex. Okay, yeah, now I think I'm very clear. The one of reflex is the one that you do without thinking. Like now you blink your eyes without asking questions. You can blink your eyes 1 million times, So they're called reflex. And the one of non-reflex, like now lifting my hand up, is the reflex action. It's a non-reflex, because I can decide not to move my hand. But you can't say you won't move your eyes, no. Or your eyes or your eyelids, no, it's not possible. It moves by itself without taking from you any permission. So that was how it was. Like I did that, like it was kind of like a kind of reflex action for me. I just wrote that east to west. I wrote north and south. And those parents were looking at me like, and they didn't say any word. They were talking to each other, because those parents oftentimes accompanying their children for the English class. Don't forget, these are kids maybe at say 5, 6, 7, those different kids, some 6 years, some 7 years, just small children. When their parents had to bring them along to the English corner, so they will stay behind. They will stay in the class, but they will stay at the back, while the kids will stay at the front seats or 4 to 3 lines. So they will be at the seats after the kids, and they were murmuring to themselves. And I was like, "Your Wentima means, is there any problem?" And they say, "Oh, my cardinal point is wrong." I said, "No, it's right." It's right. What is wrong? And I look at the cardinal point. When I was looking at the cardinal point, I didn't really observe the east to west that it should have. I didn't even take notes, because in my subconsciousness, in my, it is, I have written what I know is right. Not south, which is right. But I didn't even think of that east to west. But it should be west to east anyway, like I told you. That's a normal thing. But based on my background knowledge, when I was a kid, I mistakenly wrote that, what's it called? East to west, unknowingly. And the parent look, and started murmuring. And I was like really embarrassed. What is wrong? And they were talking. No, I was, like I said, the parents are behind the children, so I couldn't hear them very well. They're like at the last seat. They were talking, murmuring. So the woman now came up. The teacher now came up and said, the teacher, the one that owns the training school, who is also a lecturer in my school, she now came up and said that you made a mistake on the board. I said, which mistake? She said, look at the cardinal points. It's wrong. And she didn't tell me what was wrong. And when I look at the cardinal points, I see north, south, and like I'm seeing west and east, like I'm seeing, because I feel I've written what I've written. Like now, for instance, let me say something now. For instance, if I write ABC, and somebody say, this is not A, this is not B. Like I know this is A from childhood. How can you convince me? How can you tell me this is not A anymore? So I was like, what is wrong with this thing? And later she now said, so I was still asking her questions like, what is wrong? Did she do it there? Like, this is correct. And he said, no. And she didn't tell me what was. She said, no, it's wrong. Check it, it's wrong. And I said, what? And I said, it should be west to east. I said, oh my God. And I look, I said, oh. I said, sorry, I made a mistake. I didn't even take, and I wrote west to east, For the fact that it took me some time to understand that I made a mistake was the problem. Those women were there at the back murmuring. The woman came and told me that this thing is wrong. And I said, what is wrong? Because of what I already knew, my background knowledge, I still argued with her that this is not wrong. This is correct. But when I mean argue, I was like, me went here. You should do it that. Me went here means no problem. You should do it that. This is correct. Now you're told now. Where is the correction? Or where is the error? He was saying that just look at it is wrong. Maybe she doesn't want to correct me in front of the parents. I was like, this woman, are you normal? And she now said, look, you wrote west to east. And I look at the board and said, oh. I just had to clean that, that was a little bit, I was a little bit embarrassed. Like, I had to clean that west and wrote east. And I can take that was the last day those parents came to the class. You know what happened? The parents, there's a little girl here. Hello. A little girl is staring at me.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Nah, Harma.
Nah.
过来，别怕，别怕。说你好。过来。快点。说 hello。能说 hello 不说 hello 吗？
好了，给他这样。
这样，手，这样，快一点。哎呀，好看，这么帅哥啊！
有点害羞。
你能给我这个衣服，能给我穿吗？可以给我吗？
叔叔能穿上吗？
好了，哎呀，哎，你是这个楼吗？
我后那边。
啊，就后面了。好了，哎，好。Sorry, I don't want to type these words here. I don't want to waste time to type. So let me just see what happened just now. I was making the video. The little boy was staring at me, and I was like, "Oh, little boy, how are you doing? Come on, don't be scared of me, you know." And we just had a talk, you know. And the father said he lives in the next building. Anyway, back to my story, and that was how I got embarrassed in the class. Now, something happened that is very, very funny. That was the time they just renewed their fee. You know, that day, like that was the first class after they renewed their lesson fee. Like, let me say they paid the lesson fee yesterday for the renewal, and I had to teach today the first class for that month. Do you know what happened? The woman came to me, the lecturer, said, please, you know what happened? The parents said they don't want to continue anymore. That they feel that I will teach their children wrong, you know, I'll teach them wrong, you know, like teach them wrong knowledge, or you know, they will learn wrong English from me. I was like, but that wasn't English. I was just trying to explain to you. We're talking about some, you know, we just diverted during the class, you know, and I was not talking about some cardinals, talking about like Africa, talking about, you know, Nigeria, talking about, you know, just discussing, you know. Then, you know, I think then we had a break, you know, and I was just talking about, but I said, okay, we're in Africa. I said, okay, we are, you know, I'm from Western Africa, you know, Nigeria, and we're just talking about, you know, where you can find, you know, Nigeria in Africa. We're just discussing generally, you know, blah blah, or where is, you know, Lagos in where I base Lagos in what's it called, in the Nigerian, you know, geographical locations. You know, we're in Southwest. So that was what made me to write to put that cardinal point on the dropboard, and you see, that already cost me that class. So where am I going to? This is the take home from all this long story, is that sometimes we have to try to unlearn what we have learned, you know, to be able to accommodate new things. It's also in the Bible, like I said, Mark 2 verse 22, you know, that we can't have you can't put the new wine in an old wine skin. It is just commonsensical. Imagine you buy, I know when I was very small, when I was tender, like say 2-3 years, I stayed in the village. You know, my mom took me to the village to spend some time with my grandpa, you know, and grandma, my paternal side, and grandpa and grandma, my maternal side. So I spent some few time with them in the village. I know my grandpa would go to the farm and bring fresh palm wine in the morning, you know. While sometimes he doesn't bring them, someone comes to deliver the fresh palm wine, very fresh. And I remember then, you know, these things are just, you know, the Bible is just practical. The Bible is real. The Bible is it's a guide for, it's a manual for daily living. My grandpa, if they have old wine left, like the one of yesterday left, they will have to remove the old one before they put the new wine in the jar. They have what they call jar. They have to remove the old wine, because if they put the new wine in the old wine, it spoils the taste, okay? They have to remove the old wine and now put the new wine in that jar. So this Baba, to today, he still haven't really, like, he does well. You can see the hair is not bad, but this hair was done practically me controlling his hand on what to do. You know, like I was bobbing the hair with his hand, for instance. You know, I'm not saying technically Here, cut here a little bit. No, here, no, because else this would be very awful. Okay. Anyway, just trying to use that as an example and also tell you about the story of, where I was really embarrassed, while teaching English, and my foundational knowledge of singing that song from east to west, no other God, from north to south. I say there is no other God. That's really affected me, and that was how I lost that English class contract. Though I know I taught English elsewhere, I had a lot of English classes then when I was, in school, but that's one particularly gave me a lot of money, and I lost that class. The woman came to me and said, "Oh, they won't continue anymore." I said, "What happened?" "That's because of what happened that yesterday." "Okay, I'm sorry, you have to refund the money." And I gave her the money back, the one I was paid for, and that was how that whole English class ended. Okay, so in all, the take home is that for us to become people that are better, people of good values, we have to, at some point in time, try to unlearn what we have learned. If you don't unlearn them, I tell you, it's going to be a problem for you. Sometimes they're going to embarrass you. I mean, what you knew that sounds to you as, that's what east to west, no other God. It's a song that I've been singing. It's like, it's a normal thing, but it's also made me, or gave some kind of, played a role in getting me embarrassed that day. And that was how I lost that job. Guys, it's your favorite Mr. Sop, and I should be going back to my room now. Okay, I'm climbing upstairs now, guys. You guys should have a wonderful day. Let me go and shower, clean up myself, and I will see you guys in my next video. I'll be entering the lift now, so I hope I'll have good signal when I speak. So please, guys, if you are new on this channel, please try and subscribe. Oh, I have to wait. The lift is going up, so I have to wait. So guys, if you are new on this channel, please try and subscribe to the channel. All right, here it doesn't have good lighting, so I'm going to end the video very soon. Subscribe so we can take this channel to the permanent side. And if you subscribe, put that what's it called, when you subscribe, you can also click on the button for notification, so that when I make any post, you can be among the first to get in touch, with the post or be notified. All right, guys, see you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Today is Monday, and the government has actually gave an injunction that every schools and offices should be closed down today.
中国人喝茶比较讲究，像这种地方很少有人搁这儿喝茶，一般都是得有店面里、店铺里那种茶庄里头，喝茶也是一种品味。
说 hello。
说的不标准。
So guys, I'm just walking, taking a stroll around the streets of Hamburg. Hamburg shop. What do you see? What do you think? Wow, can you see that boat behind me?